Have you ever questioned yourself how the idea of having the first car was formed, who made it and why? How did humans even think of having a car is a good idea? Well, welcome to my channel and let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, in a land not too far away, where horses roamed free and roads were nothing but muddy trails, there lived a brilliant and quirky inventor named Theodore. Theodore was always tinkering with contraptions, dreaming up new ways to make life easier and more exciting. One day, as he was sitting under an apple tree, mulling over his latest creation, an apple fell from the tree and bonked him on the head. Ouch, he cried, rubbing his noggin. But then, a spark of inspiration lit up his eyes. Eureka! I've got it. Theodore rushed to his workshop and started sketching furiously. He envisioned a strange, four-wheeled device that could move on its own, powered not by horses but by an engine. The idea of the car was born. Now, Theodore was a brilliant inventor, but he was also a bit absent-minded. He often got so engrossed in his work that he forgot to eat, sleep, and even bathe. His hair stood on end like Einstein's, and his clothes were usually covered in grease stains. People in the village would often chuckle and say, "There goes Theodore, off in his own little world again." But that didn't bother Theodore one bit. He was on a mission to bring his fantastical car to life. After months of trial and error, sleepless nights, and way too many cups of coffee, Theodore finally had a prototype ready. With trembling excitement, he climbed into the driver's seat, his wild hair sticking out in every direction, and turned the key. The engine roared to life, and the car sputtered forward, wobbling like a newborn calf. Theodore's grin stretched from ear to ear as he cruised around the village, waving at the amazed onlookers. "Look at this marvelous creation," he yelled, "no more horse poop on the streets." Theodore knew he was onto something huge, but he also knew he needed to convince the villagers to embrace this bizarre new invention. So, he decided to host a grand exhibition to showcase the wonders of his car. The day of the exhibition arrived, and the entire village gathered at the town square. Theodore stood proudly next to his invention, which he had now affectionately named Theo Car. He began his presentation, but the villagers were skeptical. "Why would we need a metal monster when we have loyal horses to carry us?" one villager asked. "Imagine traveling great distances without breaking a sweat or tiring your poor horse." Theodore argued, trying to win them over. But the crowd was unconvinced until one mischievous little girl named Emily came forward. She was the youngest of the villagers, but her curiosity knew no bounds. "I want to ride the Theo car," she announced boldly, much to the amusement of the crowd. Theodore, delighted by her eagerness, agreed. He helped Emily into the car, fastened her seatbelt, a safety measure he had wisely added, and started the engine. The crowd gasped as Theo car smoothly glided forward, making Emily giggle with delight. From that moment on, the villagers were entranced. They lined up to take turns riding the Theo car, and soon the entire village was buzzing with excitement and laughter. Theodore's invention had won their hearts. Word about the marvelous car spread like wildfire, reaching neighboring villages and cities. People from far and wide flocked to see Theodore's creation. Soon, factories were built and cars began rolling off assembly lines, bringing about a revolution in transportation. And that's how the idea of using cars spread like wildfire. The world was never the same again. People could now explore new horizons, visit loved ones in distant lands, and go on unforgettable road trips. As for Theodore, he became a legend. The absent-minded inventor, with his wild hair and grease-stained clothes, was celebrated for changing the course of history. But he remained true to himself, continuing to dream up new contraptions that sparked joy and wonder in the hearts of people everywhere. And so, the tale of Theodore and his marvelous invention, the Theo car, spread across generations. It became a story told around campfires, inspiring young minds to explore the realms of imagination and create a better world. But remember, this is just the beginning of the adventure. There are many more tales to tell about the evolution of cars, the people who shaped the automotive industry, and the incredible journeys taken on four wheels. So, buckle up and stay curious, for the road ahead is filled with wonders yet to be discovered. In a quaint little town nestled between rolling hills and lush greenery, lived a man named Harold. Harold was a dreamer and an adventurer at heart. He would often stare up at the night sky, imagining journeys to far-off planets and daring expeditions through uncharted territories. But there was one thing that bothered him, the slow and laborious means of transportation available at the time. One day, as Harold strolled through the town square, he noticed a peculiar contraption sitting on a cart. It was a small, noisy machine with four wheels, and a man was tinkering with it, trying to make it move. Harold was instantly drawn to it and approached the man with wide-eyed curiosity. "What is this marvelous thing?" Harold asked, a mix of excitement and apprehension in his voice. The man grinned and replied, "This, my friend, is a car. It's a new invention that could change the way we travel. With this, you can move faster than any horse-drawn carriage. Harold's eyes lit up. Faster than a horse, you say? That sounds incredible. But, how does it work? The man patiently explained the workings of the car, the engine, the wheels, and the gears that allowed it to move forward. Harold was amazed by the idea, but the thought of sitting in a machine that moved on its own was a bit daunting. The townspeople, who had gathered around to witness the demonstration, seemed equally skeptical. It's madness, some exclaimed. How can we trust a machine to carry us safely? What if it goes out of control and crashes? The man driving the car, trying to impress the crowd, decided to take a bold step. Who among you is brave enough to take a ride with me? He announced, his eyes scanning the crowd. Harold's heart skipped a beat. He was both terrified and thrilled by the idea. A mix of curiosity and adventurous spirit overcame his fear, and he stepped forward, declaring, I'll do it. The crowd gasped as Harold climbed into the car beside the driver. The engine roared to life, and the car jolted forward, causing Harold's heart to leap into his throat. But as the car gained momentum, Harold's fear gave way to sheer acceleration. The wind tousled his hair as the town whizzed past in a blur. As they returned, the crowd erupted into cheers, their skepticism replaced by awe. Harold's beaming smile and excited recount of the ride had a contagious effect. The first seed of acceptance for cars was planted in that very moment. Word of the daring car ride spread throughout the town, sparking curiosity and wonder among the people. Harold became a local hero, and everyone wanted to experience this new mode of transportation for themselves. The man with the car set up a makeshift ride service, taking villagers on short trips around town, and soon enough, they were lining up to be a part of this exhilarating adventure. However, as the idea of cars started gaining traction, challenges arose. Many believed that relying on machines for travel would make people lazy and eliminate the need for horses, leading to unemployment for the local stable hands. Some even feared that cars might be a passing fad, destined to crash and burn like shooting stars. But Harold wasn't deterred. He knew in his heart that this invention was a game-changer, and he set out to prove it to the skeptics. He organized a grand car festival, inviting people from neighboring towns to witness the marvels of this new technology. The day of the festival arrived, and a vast field outside the town was transformed into a bustling fairground. Carriages were decorated with flowers and streamers, and the air was abuzz with excitement. Harold was determined to show everyone the potential of cars beyond just being a novelty. As people gathered around, Harold stepped up to the stage, his eyes shining with passion. He spoke eloquently about how cars could revolutionize transportation, connect people from distant places, and open up new opportunities for trade and exploration. He emphasized that while progress might bring some challenges, it also held the promise of a brighter future. With renewed enthusiasm, people lined up to take rides in the cars. Laughter and cheers filled the air as families experienced the thrill of traveling at unheard of speeds. Harold's festival was a roaring success, and soon the idea of cars spread like wildfire, captivating the hearts of people everywhere. And so, the little town that once hesitated at the sight of a car became a hub of innovation and progress. Harold's courage and determination to embrace change had set the wheels of transformation in motion, and the world would never be the same again. As time passed, cars evolved, becoming safer, faster, and more efficient. They became an essential part of modern life, and Harold's dream of exploring far-off lands and daring expeditions became a reality for millions. And that, my friends, is how the crazy idea of cars was welcomed, how challenging it was to convince the first car seers, and how, in the face of fear, an adventurous dreamer like Harold played a pivotal role in shaping the world as we know it today. So, the next time you hop into a car, take a moment to remember the brave souls like Harold, who dared to embrace the unknown and transform the course of history.